Which will it be, llama number 1 or llama number 2? Find out on today's video. Salutations, I'm Becca, this is Words Another Malarkey, and today I have an honest-to-God book haul. So I kind of have a twofold because I have a birthday book haul that I did this month. My birthday was the 15th of February. Happy birthday to me. And then I also thought I'd just go through all the books that I bought in 2020, basically, which, as you can see by these stacks that are kind of giving it away, one book haul is substantially more dense than the other. I didn't buy a whole lot of books this year. I mean, I was trying really hard not to like just hoard, and I was trying to get rid of books too, but you know, I still couldn't resist a few purchases here and there. Now that I've introed, I'm going to turn these around so that you can't really see what they are, that you probably already did. So I bought this one probably in the early summer. This is This Song Will Save Your Life by Leela Sales. I read this in high school and it stuck with me. And I feel like when a book sticks with you, like from your teen years onward, like it's significant. Because I read a lot in junior high and high school. I mean, it was when my reading started to slow down, but I definitely read more than I remember. So this one stuck with me. It's about a girl. She's kind of a shy, socially awkward type, and she accidentally stumbles upon this like underground indie dance club and ends up becoming a DJ for this indie dance club. And it's very much like a coming of age, like learning how to be yourself and finding like what makes you you kind of book. It was very timely for being like a teenager and feeling very out of place. I think the protagonist is like 16 or 17. So yeah, the awkwardness I definitely like related to because I was an awkward teenager. I mean, let's be honest, I'm like an awkward young adult, so not much has changed. I'm just a little bit better at owning it. So that's that one. Then I bought at some point off of another like used book website, Princess of the Midnight Ball and Princess of Glass by Jessica Day George. Now the thing is, I want to get rid of these, and it's not their fault. These are great books. It's because these are old library copies, and there's nothing wrong with library copies. I mean, they got like the dust jacket is basically laminated onto the book. I realize I'm a little bit vain when it comes to books, and I want it to be prettier. I want prettier copies of these, so I think I want to get rid of these and buy some like paperbacks, and also I think it's easier to find the third one in paperback, and it's been really difficult to track down the third one. I'll do a video one day about this series in particular because honestly it could use its own video. I love it that much, it's that good, but I want to reread it first before I like start to do any sort of YouTube content for it. Another book that I bought, this one from Barnes & Noble, was Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield, and I am halfway through it. I was supposed to read it for Inks and Tomes book club, but I didn't finish it. This is like January, I think it was the January book. You can go check out that video, I'll link it down below. Nat does book talks every month corresponding with the book club book, and I was supposed to have participated in Once Upon a River, and I didn't, but I did participate in Six of Crows, so if you haven't seen that one yet, go watch it. But this is a very like magical realism story. It takes place in this little English town where this mysterious man shows up with this girl that was supposed dead but is like magically brought back to life. It's following all these different characters that claim that this child is their long lost daughter, and atmospherically it's very well written and well constructed. I'm just so bored. It's so not my jam when it comes to storytelling structure, but Setterfield writes beautifully. So I do want to finish it. I'm just taking my sweet time. I bought Daisy Jones and the Six sometime in the summer after reading the audiobook, listening to the audiobook, and really enjoying it. And the audiobook was definitely a good choice. I did not know until after I listened to it that a lot of people recommended listening to the audiobook because this is basically in like interview format. So, but I decided I wanted to own it too, and I found it for like pretty cheap on like eBay. So this is a really good quality used hardback, and I would read it again. So I really try to only buy books that either I have read before and know I would read again, or know that I want to read sometime in the near future. So with that said, An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I already did a video on this. I'm not going to belabor the point. You can go watch that video to learn my thoughts. But as soon as I finished my library copy of this, I knew I had to own it, and soon. So it's one of the few times that I actually bought a book almost directly after reading it. And I want to read it again now, honestly. What are you doing over there?
Sorry?
You making a glare? You trying to blind me? The heck, man? Oh, the sun's coming in because the sun's setting. We can't get the lighting right in these, like, ever, but we're figuring it out. One day we'll have a studio. Anyways, Enchantment of Ravens. Yes, I want to read it again now, but I will wait. I have other things that I need to read first. So last but not least, for my 2020 book haul that I can think of, this one I got from Barnes & Noble on clearance. This is Hidden Sea by Gregory Maguire, who's the author of Wicked. I've never read Wicked, but I've listened to the Broadway musical soundtrack, and I would love to go see the Broadway musical live, but I know that it's known to be a really good book and that he's a really good author when it comes to like fairy tale retellings. And so back in the winter, as you may or may not know, I went through this whole Nutcracker extravaganza, and I was researching Nutcracker retellings, and this one came up. And I really want to read it. Probably won't until like next winter because Nutcracker, but it's supposed to be like, I don't know, this feels more like a magical realism type retelling of the Nutcracker. But I just love this cover, and it's got like a cutout, but the inside of the cutout is so creepy. It's like, like, what is that and why? Maybe it's significant. Like, I mean, the art is cool, but like, I'm just gonna cover that up. So that's my 2020 book haul. Not bad. I was very conservative. Oh, and this doesn't include my thrift shop book haul from earlier in the year. I didn't want to like repeat any of those, so I did leave out a few, but I had a separate video for those, so you can check that one out if you want. And I might have covered some of these that I bought too in that video. I hope not, but if I did, whoops. Yeah, but I left those other 5 out. And since then, I've actually read a few of the ones that I got in that thrift shop haul, so making some progress. So that is behind llama number 1. Now let's talk about llama number 2, my birthday book haul. I went to 3 different stores throughout the course of like a week. So the weekend of my birthday, the weekend of the 15th, it was the coldest weekend of the year. It was sub-zero here in the Midwest, and you know, most of the country, most of the Midwest especially, was dealing with this too. So you might know what I'm talking about. So going out and doing things was out of the question. So literally today, earlier today, we went to like this cool indie bookstore downtown. There were a few places that we went earlier in the week, I think, like despite the weather, but they were closer by. So I'm going to go through, yeah, I'm gonna have to flip these because alley-oop. Shit. Nah. Because they're in reverse order. So the first place I went, I don't know if I should say the names of them, of the places. Steele's Bookstore. I got this one from a place called Steele's Bookstore, and they had so many books. He told us that like he had to move buildings, and the building that he's in now is a third the size of what he had before. So like literally like shelves, you know, stacked up to the walls. Of all of that, and again, I'm very conservative with what I buy. The only thing I got was Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. Now I knew this came out and it had mixed reviews, and I am a fan of To Kill a Mockingbird. I had to read it in school, but I like it and appreciate it as a story. But I mean, honestly, just for the cover aesthetic and for the fact that this is the sequel to a classic, I bought it and I will read it. I didn't plan on it like anytime soon, but now that I own it, I am definitely willing to make time for it sometime. So yeah. And then these 4 came from Savers, which is where I've gotten quite a few thrift books, but it's very hit or miss there. So what I found, first there's The Westing Game by Ellen Raskin. I've heard of this one. A podcast I listened to did an episode on it, and it is like, it's technically like supposed to be like juvenile fiction, but apparently it's very like mature. Like it's a mystery, kind of like a Clue. It's almost like Knives Out. Yeah, it's like Clue meets Knives Out. Like this guy dies, leaves his will, but it's like this game that these like 5 or however many people have to like play in order to find the will, essentially. And apparently it's really good and like really iconic, so I do want to read it. And look how short it is. Isn't that nice? Then because there weren't like a whole lot of options in the Savers YA section, in the Savers book section in general. I got North of Beautiful by Justina Chen Headley. Didn't look at the author's name at all. So this is a water damaged copy, but there's a couple of reasons why I got this. One, I read this in high school. It's another one that stuck with me. I don't know how it's going to do on a reread. It's about a girl who has a port wine stain and she's super self-conscious about it, and like, I don't know, just doesn't think she's pretty and deals with all these self-image issues. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the impact of having like a birthmark, like a big birthmark on your face or something else that, like, you know, that draws attention to your appearance, but I feel like there's other aspects of her character that are going to make me feel less sorry for her than maybe I did when I was 16. So I don't know, we'll see how it holds up on a reread, but yeah, I got it because why not? And it was water damage, but it also had like this, the previous owner left a postcard, and I kind of find that fun whenever you find something like left inside a book. It is like from her mom, who vacationed in Hawaii, apparently. These next two I've never heard of before. I just got them because of the covers and because reading the summary synopsis, they sounded really interesting. This one is called At the Edge of the Orchard by Tracy Chevalier. Tracy Chevalier. It's about a pioneer family in the 1830s who settles I suppose at the edge of an orchard. I don't know, but it's going to be like a historical fiction about a family making it in the new world. Where did they go? Ohio. So yeah, it's a really pretty cover too, so I'm really excited. But you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. I know, it's fine, but at least it'll look pretty on my shelf until I can actually read it. And then last but not least from Savers, this is Frozen Fire by Tim Bowler. Again, I've never heard of this. This is a supernatural thriller about a girl who gets a mysterious phone call from a boy who says that he's dying, and he won't tell her like who he is or why he's dying, but all this other like weird stuff starts happening. Like people are like after her now because she talked to him. Seems kind of like SCP Foundation-esque, like some kind of weird anomaly. I'm very interested to read this, and I'm hoping that I get to it before the end of the winter, even though winter is, well, February is closing in. So yeah, that is my Savers haul. And now, last but not least, the haul that I got from Prospero's bookstore. And if I had known that the second bookstore we were going to go to today was closed, I would have probably bought more books there. But as it is, I'm glad I only walked out with 3 because it saves money and space. So here's what I got from Prospero's. I got The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. It's a classic, and it's one that's been on my TBR forever. So I'm really hoping that I get to read it soon. And then I got Peony in Love by Lisa C. Now, I feel like I've heard about this. I'm not 100% sure. I've either heard about something like it. It's basically this girl in China. She, I don't know, she falls in love and something happens. And I don't know. I think it's magical realism. I'm not 100% sure. Even like reading the back cover, I don't really know like how to summarize it in one sentence. Yes, but it does look really interesting, and the cover is so pretty. So I will be reading that one at some point. And then last but not least, I feel like I've said that like 10 billion times. Bread Alone by Judith Ryan Hendricks. I've heard of this one. I was doing research on books about food, like not cookbooks, like books about people eating food or cooking food, and this one came up. So it's about a woman who like starts a new life and starts working in a bakery. And my husband worked in a bakery growing up, so like, and I worked there like in the summers for a few years, so like I feel like it's gonna be very nostalgic, and I'm gonna get a lot of like flashbacks to being in the bakery from this. I love books about food, so I'm very excited to read this, and hopefully it's good and doesn't make me want to eat bread too much, because Lord knows I've eaten too much bread this season. Okay, let me arrange these so that they look pretty, because I like had them in a, I don't even know why I bothered to have them in an order at all. So that is it. That is my 2020/February 2021 book haul. I am hoping to not accumulate too much more before the summer because we are moving in the spring, and I don't want to add any extra weight, take up any extra space. So yeah, but it was really fun. It was fun to go to a bookstore and just like browse. Me and my sisters were there for probably an hour and a half, just browsing and looking at things and trying to find things. So yeah, always a good time when you're able to do that. Comment down below and tell me if you've read any of these books or if you have had any good book hauls recently and what you're most excited to read from them. And until next time, keep it weird and support local business, support local indie booksellers. Yay.